Hey, sorry about the wait. I know it's been like 11 days since my last video. So, I got into physical therapy. The doctor I saw beforehand, though, was really good. She understood what I was talking about and had no problems at all with her. The physical therapist had the same attitude she had, but they're just very sad to hear my experiences with doctors and things I went through with workman's comp. So, I look forward to working with them more on my physical therapy and fixing the issues. It's such a relief to be around competent doctors who actually care. And I was talking to people down there at this new um, physical therapy location, and the receptionist I was talking to went through something similar to what I went through. So we bonded over that, talked to her for a little bit. She understands just exactly how corrupt insurance companies can be, along with doctors. So she explained to me that over here they are very good at what they do, and she explained to me how things have changed in the last 6 years as far as doctors and physical therapists go. So happy to hear about the improvements, that's for sure. I'll keep you guys updated on my recovery, but yeah, overall I'm very happy with this. It's been nice. A little tired today. I woke up early, made a nice big breakfast for the family, and instantly had a food coma. So took a nap, woke up. Things have been great over here. My family and I got into this online game together that we've been playing on our phones, and it's been really fun for all of us to sit around and do events and stuff together. These kind of games my dad and I played separately. He got into them. He's been playing them for over 20 years, I think. For me, it's just been here and there throughout the years. And my mom, this is her first time playing a game like this. So it's been fun having the dynamic play out the way it's playing out. So that's what we've been busy. I'll be seeing my physical therapist once a week for my leg and the nerve pain that goes with it. So after that, though, once that issue's been dealt with, then we'll cover the arms and shoulders. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully I can get back to where I was 6 years ago, or 7 years, preferably, before the injuries happened. And then I can just enjoy the rest of my life. You know, it's exciting because I thought about the Wired class and when I was learning it when I was 17, and what's changed since then. That was discovering why I am the way that I am, and discovering why people treat me a certain way. Over the course of time, now I'm figuring out that it's the reason why my bosses treat me the way they treat me. Why I can't hold a decent job, because the jobs aren't decent, because of how they're being ran. And so I don't like the idea of working for somebody else because of that. I mean, I've had ideas, getting licensed as a massage therapist because I've got good massage skills. I've read books on it, I've applied things, and I've learned new techniques from just being worked on in physical therapy 6 years ago. And I've been shown some techniques by some doctors. So I thought about why not. All it takes is going down there, spending some hours learning the craft, and you take a test. And that's it. You need X amount of hours, and then you take a test, and then you get certified. I thought about doing that just so I can say I'm certified, but not doing anything with it. That could open up a whole new can of worms with clientele, especially with women these days. Now, sure, you could be under the protection of a place you can work at, but the issue with that is, what if I do better than my peers? What if my clients like me more? Because I put in the extra work. Well, then it comes down to a popularity contest that they're losing, and when they're losing, they decide, we want you out. So I didn't want to go down that route. The other issue is opening up my own, I don't want to use the word clinic, but opening up my own business would bring its own problems with women saying I did things I didn't do. It doesn't matter if you haven't filed out a consent form. It doesn't matter anymore. That used to matter. But these days, these women, they'll do anything for money. Anything. We've seen that. So don't trust that. I don't know if that's the right move for me to make. The thing about me is I've got a lot of talents and places I could go, but picking a place is very difficult because there's already people in those fields that can dictate my livelihood. I don't trust that. So I thought about it. I'm like, well, AI is out there now. Now, you guys know my ideas of AI. It's not something I want to get involved in, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, I'm not good with drawing. I'm not good with being an artist, As a kid, I wanted to have that kind of skill set, but hand-eye coordination with a pencil or a pen just takes more practice. I'm better off catching balls and playing sports than I was drawing or handwriting. So it just wasn't my thing. It could be my thing if I wanted it to be. Didn't have the interest. So that's kind of the issue, is AI can do things I can't with art. So I thought about making AI videos for kicks. I thought about making things, hilarious. But the problem is, an AI program that's free doesn't really exist. Every place you go, they want money. I mean, you can generate pictures for free, sure. But if you want to get into video editing and stuff like that, it's not free. Even making your own app isn't free. So, I don't know. I'll do some more research on it, but it'd be pretty cool to get into that field and make people laugh or show how it would be with me being governor. I think it'd be great to give visuals on what I would do as governor to help people understand my vision for the state through AI art. But regardless, I'll figure something else out. I'll get to work. If I have a steady income, then yeah, I can do an AI program, no problem. It's just getting the funds to do it. So, I thought about it. If I enjoy this physical therapist, and I explain more about my talent with massages and stuff and my passion for it, then who knows? Maybe I can end up working for him or something. Um, he seems decent. I was impressed with him the first time I met him. That doesn't happen very often. When I meet doctors, it's typically they're very high strung, very do things my way. They like to have that control, so they don't really explain things very well to their patients because they want that control. And it's like, no, dude, I'll do my own research when I get home, and if I think that you're full of it, I'll find somebody else. And that's typically how it goes. But this guy, he seemed very genuine, very polite, very professional. So I like that. I don't know how he is as a boss, though. However, once I get to know him, I'll get to know if I want to work for him or not. But I mean, it's an option. So it's a field I haven't really been in yet, and it could be beneficial, especially for my resume. We'll wait and see. But yeah, it's looking good. As for my mother, you guys know about her dental problems, and it was hard to find a dentist that would just pull the teeth. Luckily, it sounds like she found one that would. Basically, she's looking at an extraction. The tooth decay is in the center of the tooth now on both teeth, so they both need to be yanked. So, fun. She's been in a lot of pain, so we've been making her some soft food, easy things to eat and enjoy. It's just so difficult watching people suffer when the doctors can't do anything or refuse to do anything. Doctors have all the power in the world when it comes to helping people out, and they choose not to. Or they want it done their way. It's crazy to me how the doctors work these days. So, I explained to both of my doctors about my past experiences and what they pulled, and why I don't trust doctors anymore. Well, I never really did, but why I don't trust them more than I used to not trust them. And they both apologized. They're like, I'm sorry you went through that. Doesn't seem right. So, they've been treating me very well so far, and I hope that continues. But yeah, the physical therapy office is near my house, so it works. The other one it was a drive, a little bit. It wasn't too far away, but far enough. This is in the same neighborhood as my house, so very happy with that. Everything else has kind of been more daydreaming than anything else, you know? What kind of issues I'd cover as governor, how would I fix this or that, how would I talk to some of my reporters, and one of the very first things that has to be addressed, if it's a problem still, I don't know if it will be, but what people don't understand about ICE is that they're just doing their job, trying to protect the American people, getting rid of people that are illegal. And this is the issue with the whole stolen land thing. I know there's a huge uproar about that with Billie Eilish, but I never liked her. But yeah, so here's my stance on it. Yes, I support ICE. No surprise. I don't think that they're picking up random people. From my understanding, ICE is picking up people that have been issued by a judge. They're on a roster. That they are, in fact, indeed illegal. Now, what does that mean? What does illegal mean? Let's break that down for a minute for some people. We have laws. What happens? You break the laws, you get arrested, right? Okay, simple. We have a law. To come through our borders, you have to do it the legal way. What does that mean? What does the word legal mean in this context? It means you have to go through it by how the state wants you to. So, the state wants you to fill out paperwork. The state wants you to identify yourself. You go through that process, okay? It is a process, and it can take a very long time. That's why you come in, you're on a visa or whatever. You get the credentials to be here. So that way the state recognizes and knows you. Now, what happens if you don't do that? Well, if you cross the border illegally by not going through the proper channels and not being documented, then there's no record of you. Therefore, it's illegal. The state has to know and recognize you. The other issue is, I talked about this previously on the podcast. Oregon became a sanctuary state in 87. Which means sanctuary, this is where it gets really upsetting. Because what it's saying is, you can come here illegally. You can come here and not be documented. Which will get into a problem. Because the state is overstepping the boundary between federal and state. So the state doesn't recognize border hopping or coming into our state illegally as a crime. They don't recognize that. Federal does. And with the federal government, it's no, you should close your borders, or at least have them a little bit more restricted. And with some states saying no, now we're getting this issue. So a lot of people claim that, well, Americans commit crimes too. What's the difference? The difference is Americans have that right to commit those crimes because they have the right to be here. It's one of those very sticky situations to explain, but it's kind of a pointless argument, because what you're discussing is, when is crime okay? It's never okay. So to point out that it should be okay for them to be here because we commit the same crimes too, no. No. Crime is the problem. Okay? So if crime is the problem, let's get rid of the people that cause the crime. That's what we do. We lock them in prison or jail, and we take care of it, right? The other problem is, these are the same people who aren't upset that Barack Obama deported people the most, actually, in the history of what we had at that time. So, no, you need to go back and watch the past presidents and how they handled immigration laws. So, I want to point out something else, though, because this is a hot take. Stolen land. Okay, stolen land. What does that mean? How can you have stolen land? See, when a land was conquered, it was conquered and then purchased. I don't know why you would do it that way, but they did. Probably for legal reasons, so they couldn't say it was stolen. That'd be my guess. But yeah, California was purchased. It wasn't stolen. Um, and yeah, sure, you can argue you guys came over here and you stole from the Indians. Well, yes and no. For the no argument, it's a lot of people were able to live in peace with Indians. In fact, they were even welcomed into their tribes as honorary members. We know this through history. The Cherokee Indians, for example. Then you move forward to some other tribes that chose to be more savage. By that I mean it's a way of life. They didn't choose to adapt and grow and develop the land. They chose to let it stay barren, and they chose to live a life that's just very poor. They didn't do any irrigations. They didn't do any farms. They hunted. That's all they did. Which is why we were taught the Cherokee Indians believed they were savages because they didn't act civilized. They didn't act intelligently. That kind of thing. So they acted more savage, which is why they were called that, and why some of the Americans over here also called them that. So some Indians chose peace with us, some of them chose war. So it comes down to what tribe and what Americans you're talking about, because they handled it differently. Some Americans did choose war against Indians, others did not. Other Indians chose war against the Americans, the other ones did not. So, that's the issue you have. It's been misled for so long, and this is another thing I want you to think about. The information you're getting right now, you notice how the past generations, like Gen X, the boomers, they're not upset like you. See, Gen Z was lied to. It was totally betrayed. The millennials, to some degree as well, but millennials also understood and were taught history correctly, at least in some schools. Some schools taught history the way it was supposed to be taught, other ones did not. And so, for Gen Z millennials that believe that this is stolen land and all that other stuff, look around. Open your eyes and take a look. If this is conquered and stolen land, if this is stolen land, then that means everybody that lives here is the problem, including you. You can say you're trying to fight for it, but guess what? You're not. You're not. Because you can't make that kind of change. So if you believe that this is stolen land, then you should pack your bags and get out. For the rest of us that know it wasn't stolen, we're going to sit here and live happily and not cause problems. The people that say this is stolen land want their property to be completely safe and secure. They're not giving up their homes. We've seen that. And the other thing I wanted to address was the hatred the Democrats have towards Republicans and these people that believe that the Republican Party is the most racist, and they're these horrible people. I mean, the list has gone on for years. We've heard all this stuff. I'm not going to say the same rhetoric, but this is the way it works. It is easy to criticize one side when you don't look at the issues of your own side. For example, how many of you understand the KKK and who was involved? How many of you understand the Civil War and what side was on what side? See, in history, we learned that the Democrats had ties to the KKK. The Democrats are the ones that fought to keep the slaves enslaved. The Republican Party are the ones that fought to free them. Now, sure, there's been speculation on the motivation for why the Republicans wanted them freed. Some say it was because of the economy. Some couldn't get slaves or afford them, therefore they were forced to pick their own cotton or whatever. Others say it's because of human rights. Regardless of the reason why, here's what's important. It happened. They were freed. Not by the Democrats, by the Republicans. I would encourage people to do their own research, to look through things, fact check their own parties. I don't trust Republicans. I don't trust Democrats. I trust history, the facts. And so I look for the facts. You should too. But the stolen land thing, the stolen land's got me really concerned because it's like, where are you getting information from? All this stuff, all the points I've made so far, I don't understand where these people get the information. What textbook? What history book? Where do they get it? See, I don't know. They don't pull up their sources. I just tell you I learned this in school. Okay, so that was the curriculum that was taught in school. What about the rest of the people? Do they have the same one, or did they have a different one? So yeah, I would just go look it up, you know? If you find that the internet is telling you that, what I'm saying is wrong, okay, that's one source. Go find a book. Go find a book. Open the book. We have tons of libraries. Go find one. But again, you gotta find the book that hasn't been changed. It is no secret that our history has been rewritten to fit a certain narrative that one side wants to say happened. I know it's confusing, but that's what they wanted. They wanted us confused. At the time that Obama was president, I was looking into the Constitution in school and reading out a lot of different things and figuring out that, hey, Obama violated this one and this one and this one. This isn't constitutional either. So, very fascinating to read history as it's happening. So, keep in mind, it's not your fault. People lie all the time. What's important is that you go do your own research. There are so many people going to the streets right now with microphones, and they're asking people that are protesting why they're there. They've got no clue. They give out the rhetoric that they've been taught to say, and that is they make a statement here or there. And the guy's like, well, what makes you believe that? Well, it's on record. Oh, it's on record. Okay. So then let's look it up. They can't find it. Like, have you seen this record? Well, no, but it's on record. Well, yes. So then, if it's on record, why didn't you look for it? If you looked for it, you would have found it. So it's things like this, and then it's asking them, why would you say something that you're not really 100% sure about? And it opened the guy's mind. Like, you watched his whole face change to where he was looking into it going, that's a real good question. I don't know. You gotta wonder about these people. Stolen or not, this is the way it is. Why is America so great? Our Constitution. 100%. Bill of Rights, our Constitution. Those are the two things. And everything that America has accomplished. Now I'll touch base on one more thing to clarify something. For those people that believe that America created slavery, you need to go read about Egypt. You need to go read about Africa, China, and every other place that was around before America was. And you need to figure out who created slavery in the first place. Where was it originally founded? See, because I don't know about you, but I've read the Bible. Slavery is talked about a lot in there. And if I remember right, because I think I do have this correct, the Bible was being written before America was America. America wasn't founded yet. So the Hebrews suffered slavery. The Jews suffered slavery way before America was a country. Now you can choose to believe the Bible or not, that's up to you. But I would look into Israel on that and find out if Israel and Egypt did indeed have slaves and at what point in time. Because if they had slaves in the biblical times that I'm talking about, then, oh, hey, guess what? America didn't found slavery. It didn't create it at all. Therefore, what you've been told was a lie. I mean, and even if you're Muslim, I'm sure that the Quran talks about it too. And the Quran, the whole thing that's set up was also before America. So, checkmate. It's important to learn from history. It's important to do your own research and figure things out. And don't believe everything that somebody tells you. Don't believe everything I tell you. Even though I've done my research, there may be some times when I don't have it all together. I try to. But don't take my word for it. Go figure out for yourself. Because there may be something you found that I didn't find. Or, better yet, you may have gone further in the research than I did. Everything comes down to who is passionate about something and what that something is. See, if I'm passionate about finding the truth about something and I find it, that's good enough, right? I don't want to go through more stuff because that's not relevant to me yet. So, if you want to do your own research, do it. I encourage it. So yeah, those were my talking points for today. ICE is just trying to do their job, first and foremost. And their job is federal. So, just so you understand, federal is more important and more powerful than the state's power. So if the federal government decides that somebody in a state shouldn't be there, they have every right to take them out. Be it out of the country, or off the streets, in prison, whatever. That's the federal government's right. And the federal officers have more power than the police officers do. That's how that works. So for those people that want to incite violence on these people, you've got a rude awakening coming to you. I'd hate to be those people, that's for sure. But again, these are people that are not taught or raised to understand these things. They're not actually doing the research. They're just filled with anger and hatred and pure emotion. Because they're not going to go do their own research. They're just going to go, well, this is happening. Therefore, I have a right to be angry. Yeah, it's happening. But what's the reason for it? They don't care. So, look into American history. And you'll find that what they're talking about and the truth of America don't add up. I've done my research for years. I learned it. So it doesn't matter if they changed the history. I know what I read. I know what I saw. I know what I was taught. It's good enough for me. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll have more to discuss later on. There's a lot going on right now in the news. A lot of theories out there. I wouldn't call them conspiracy theories because they're plausible. There's a lot of talk right now, and so it's hard to get all the information because you want solid information. You don't want just opinions, but we're watching, we're learning, and if there's anything significant that I think should be talked about, I'll bring it on this channel. I'm also very, very happy to see the channel grow the way it's growing. I got on today and noticed I have 12 views on some videos, and that was cool to see. I'm happy with my work. I'm happy that I have people that are watching and understand what I say and feel the same way. That's important. So thank you. This is how life is. You may not like it. And I know that a lot of people struggle with it. For the people that need help, I would encourage you to call that line and talk to somebody, or go to somebody you know you can trust. Life can be difficult for some people who don't have the mental stability these days to handle it. I get it. We didn't have that issue 20, 30 years ago. We didn't. People's minds were stable. It was very rare. 80s, 90s, even 70s. Mental illness was very rare, and now it's more apparent. It makes you want to question it, doesn't it? Why now? What's going on? So yeah, there's a lot to think about, a lot to make videos on. I can't run out of material, but I will be bringing things up to talk about, and I'd love to have a conversation, discuss it. You can have your own opinions, that's fine. I will choose to respect it. You're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to see eye to eye with everybody, and I accept that. Some people you can talk to, others you can't. But it's important to remain respectful. The moment that you throw out personal insults, you've lost the argument. Because if your whole goal was to reach out and reach that person, you failed. So, I don't believe in personal attacks. I don't believe in an approach where you have more authority than the other person on a subject is the way you go about it. I believe that it comes down to working with that person to see your perspective. And if they just can't understand it, then, well, that's all there is to it. But, yeah. I'm very happy that this is being taken care of now. And I will be doing my videos in the future. It's just like I got sidetracked with stuff. But, thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. And thank you for getting the word out. I've seen that I've got quite a few shares. So I appreciate it. Have a great day.